The Milwaukee Bucks are in a really tough position. After winning the championship in 2021, the Bucks looked like a team set to contend for years and possibly win another title. But 2 seasons later, the Bucks have failed to even return to the conference finals. Their most recent playoff appearance was embarrassingly short, losing in just 5 games to the Jimmy Butler-led Miami Heat. Giannis boldly claimed that the Bucks losing in the first round wasn't a failure and that it was steps to success.
I'm curious for you. Do you view this season as a failure?
Do you get the promotion every year on your job? No, right? So every year you work is a failure. Yes or no? No. It's not a failure. It's steps to success. Michael Jordan played 15 years, won 6 championships. The other 9 years was a failure?
This probably gave Bucks fans confidence that the Greek Freak would stick around long term, but just a few months later, Giannis stated that he wouldn't sign an extension with the Bucks unless he sees a title commitment from them. How did the Bucks go from NBA champions to Giannis becoming a major flight risk? And can they return to NBA glory and get Giannis to extend with Milwaukee? We'll discuss all of that in this video, but first, we must backtrack to right after Milwaukee won the championship in 2021. After winning the title in 2021, the Bucks appeared set to repeat. Giannis was in the prime of his career, and the rest of the supporting pieces that contributed to Milwaukee winning the title were still intact. And the Bucks had a very strong 2021-22 regular season, winning 51 games and tying for the second best record in the Eastern Conference. They suffered some injuries to their top players, with Brook Lopez missing nearly the entire regular season due to a back injury, and their big three of Giannis, Chris Middleton, and Jrue Holiday each playing under 70 games. But they were able to get healthy at the right time. In the first round, they had home court advantage against the Chicago Bulls. The Bucks beat the Bulls in a quick 5 games, but they suffered a devastating blow in Game 2, with Chris Middleton going down with a knee injury.
By Williams to not force it. Inside, Lopez and a whistle.
An MRI would reveal the injury to be an MCL sprain that would sideline him for the rest of the playoffs. The next round, the Bucks would face the Boston Celtics without Chris Middleton, and they damn near beat Boston, taking a 3-2 lead in the series, but they ultimately lost in 7 games.
This will be a tough way for this season to end for the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo with another brilliant season, but hard to overcome these Boston Celtics in this series, especially without one of their star players, Chris Middleton.
To Giannis' credit, he put up a Herculean effort, averaging 34 points, 15 boards, and 7 assists per game. But Jrue Holiday proved to be way too inconsistent as a number 2 option next to Giannis, as he averaged 21 points and 6 assists per game, but shot just 36% from the field in the series, with his shooting being very erratic. Not having their 3-time All-Star Chris Middleton, a player who was a major contributor to the 2021 title, proved to be way too much for Milwaukee to overcome. Going from winning the title to losing in the second round was pretty disappointing, but the Bucks front office responded swiftly with an excellent free agency. When the dust settled at free agency, the Bucks appeared to be the deepest they'd ever been in the Giannis era. Joe Ingles, Wesley Matthews, and Javon Carter were excellent pickups, and they also re-signed fan favorite Bobby Portis. That excellent depth helped the Bucks to win 58 games and get the best record in the Eastern Conference, despite getting just 19 games from Chris Middleton in the regular season. Despite Chris being out most of the year, he got healthy right before the start of the playoffs and started to look more like his old self at the end of the year. Jrue Holiday had to pick up the slack in Chris's absence, and he put together one of his better seasons, which resulted in his second All-Star selection of his career. Giannis also had one of his best seasons, averaging 31 points and 12 boards per game, resulting in him finishing 3rd in MVP voting. Finishing as the 1 seed, the Bucks looked set to at least return to the finals. At the time, DraftKings had the Bucks as their odds-on favorite to win the 2023 NBA championship. With the Bucks star players all in top form and being the odds-on favorite to win the title, the stars were finally aligning for them to win another championship, right? Sadly, fate had other plans. The Bucks became just the 5th 1 seed in NBA history to lose in the first round to an 8th seed, and it wasn't even a very competitive series as they lost in just 5 games.
And the Miami Heat become the 6th in NBA history to win as an 8th seed in the first round.
Mike Budenholzer got canned right after the end of the series. He was made the scapegoat for the first round series defeat, but it could be argued that he was given a raw deal. It wasn't his fault that he was without his best player for a huge chunk of the series. Giannis suffered a back injury just 11 minutes into game 1, and that same injury would not only sideline him for the rest of the game, but the next 2 games as well.
Onto the Kumbo, just right down and drives into Love.
Jimmy Butler played absolutely out of his mind this series. You would have thought you were watching Michael Jordan, as Butler torched the Milwaukee defense to the tune of 37 points per game.
46 points for Jimmy Butler. Sets up a 3. Good!
Everything he can to make himself available, and that it's a collaborative decision between obviously his Butler.
But still, games 4 and 5 were winnable games that were decided by only a few points, and Coach Bud made some questionable decisions very late in those games, like opting to not call a timeout. The series defeat wasn't entirely his fault, but when a team that's considered the title favorite loses in just 5 games in the first round, someone has to take the fall. Oftentimes, that's the head coach. And just like that, the same head coach that helped Milwaukee to win a title just 2 seasons ago was now fired. To replace Coach Bud, the Bucks hired Adrian Griffin. He's never been a head coach, but he's been an assistant coach in the NBA since 2008, and he was a top assistant for the Raptors team that won the title in 2019. In free agency, the Bucks did pretty well considering their lack of cap space. They re-signed 2 key starters in Brook Lopez and Chris Middleton. They also brought back Jay Crowder and picked up sharpshooter Malik Beasley. The Milwaukee Bucks still look like title contenders on paper, and even coming off an embarrassing playoff exit, DraftKings still gave the Bucks the 4th best odds to win the title next year. But make no mistake, the Bucks front office is under immense pressure. The Bucks have lost early in the playoffs the past 2 years, despite being one of the top contenders. Another early playoff exit is going to cause more people to get fired. Even worse, if the Bucks fail to come even close to winning a title again, that could lead to the Greek Freak's exit. Giannis is extension eligible in a few weeks, but his recent comments made him appear very hesitant about committing to Milwaukee long term. Does Giannis want to wait and see how the Bucks do in the playoffs this year before signing the extension? That could be a possibility. And for the Greek Freak, this will make a lot of sense. Giannis turns 29 years old in December. That means he probably has a few years left before he exits his prime. Giannis may already have a title, but he would love to win more titles to boost his legacy. If you're Giannis, you don't want to waste the rest of your prime years on a team that'll never win another championship. So it's possible that Giannis already has 1 foot out of the door. The past couple of seasons, the Milwaukee Bucks have looked dominant until the postseason starts. Mike Budenholzer may have been a flawed coach, but the main issue keeping the Bucks from going deep in the playoffs is injuries. The past 2 years, the Bucks have suffered devastating injuries to Chris Middleton and Giannis in the postseason, and both Giannis and Chris Middleton had to get off-season knee surgery this summer. It's a cruel reminder that even when your team looked great on paper, championships are never a guarantee. Luck is involved, and avoiding untimely injuries is a must. To the Bucks' credit, they have looked amazing when healthy, and despite losing in 5 games, Chris Middleton was excellent in the Bucks' first-round defeat to the Miami Heat, averaging 24 points and 6 assists per game in the series. Whether the Bucks can make another title run looks like it comes down to simply keeping their top guys on the court. Can the Bucks finally stay healthy and make another championship run? It's possible, but it's going to be difficult. According to NBA.com, the Bucks were the oldest roster at the start of last season. They didn't get much younger in free agency, so they'll enter the 2023-24 season as once again one of the oldest teams in the NBA. Their core players are all starting to get old. Giannis may be 28, but Chris Middleton is 32, Drew Holiday is 33, and Brook Lopez is 35. Once NBA players start to enter their 30s and get over a decade of NBA wear and tear on their bodies, they tend to get more injury prone and start to decline. The Bucks could use a major talent upgrade, but they don't own many future first-round picks, largely thanks to the Drew Holiday trade from 3 years ago. The Bucks don't even own a first-round pick until 2028. So will the Bucks catch lightning in a bottle, stay healthy, and make a championship run like they did in 2021? It's possible, but it's also possible that injuries lead to another early playoff exit. The Bucks may just be a team very similar to the LA Clippers, a team stacked with star talent that looks like contenders on paper, but always suffers untimely injuries in the playoffs that prevents a deep playoff run. If Giannis opts to not extend with Milwaukee in the coming weeks, then the 2023-24 season will be very pivotal for the Bucks. If they can go far in the playoffs, maybe that's enough for Giannis to extend. But if they suffer another extremely disappointing early playoff exit, Giannis could demand a trade next summer or just wait until he hits free agency in 2025 and walk for nothing. The Bucks are now under immense pressure, and it's going to be very exciting to see how all of this plays out next season. But what do you think? Will the Bucks win the title next year? Will Giannis extend with Milwaukee? Let me see your thoughts down below in the comment section. Guys, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more high quality content just like it, please drop a like on the video and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching and have an amazing rest of your day.